Creating multi-step equations. After watching this video, I will be able to create a multi-step equation to model a real-world scenario. So, there is never one direct way to solve a problem to model real life, but there is a process that we should follow. First, we should read the problem. So questions you want to ask yourself while reading the problem is, what do you know and what do you need to find out? So some helpful hints include underlining the question or circling important information that you think you are going to need down the line. The next step is to plan something. So how do you think you can solve the problem? Helpful hints is to draw a picture if it's explaining something that's going on so you can see what's happening. Maybe use a number line. Try and write an equation of some sort as long as you try something. Then you're going to solve. So once you got your method, you're just going to try and solve whatever's happening. How did you carry out your plan is a question you want to think about yourself. Like, does this make sense? You want to always label your answer and use complete sentences so that you can actually tell what's going on. Last, you're going to check. Did you actually answer the question? Does your answer even make sense? A helpful hint is to use different strategy to check your answer. So maybe plug in a number and check if it were an equation. Does it work? So here we have a word problem, and my first step is just to highlight any information I can find. Gabriel is buying a pair of AirPods that are 2/3 of the original price. After Gabriel uses a $25 gift card, the total cost that he has to pay before taxes is $115. And then we want to know, what is the original price of the AirPods? So my unknown is the original price. Step 2 is to create some sort of plan. Because I am studying equations, I am going to write some sort of equation to model what's happening so that I can solve for the unknown. So 2/3 of original price. If my unknown is original price, I can say that this is a variable. So this represents a variable, and I'm just going to use the letter X. And we are saying 23 of, well, not 23, 2/3 of. Of represents multiplication. So 2/3 of my unknown. Now, Gabriel uses a $25 gift certificate. The total cost that he has to pay before taxes is $115. I know is represents equals 115. And I know I need to factor in this $25 gift card in some way. Now, if we are looking at the original price of the item, but our total is actually just talking about what Gabriel paid, so it's not factoring in the $25, I'm going to subtract 25 because we have this original price that he paid, which is $115, but he is not counting the 25 bucks. So now step 3 is to solve. So I do my inverse operation, and I end up with 2/3 x equal to 140. Then I am going to get rid of this 2/3 by doing its inverse, its reciprocal. And what I do on one side, I do on another. So x is equal to 420 divided by 2, and that equals 210. So the original price was $210. So I write a complete sentence saying the original price of the AirPods is $210. Now I'm going to make sure that I check my answer by making sure this makes sense. So I can plug in 210 into my place for x to make sure that I actually did the algebra correctly. And then I can see, does this make sense? Well, if we got a sale, that means that the original price was actually more than Gabriel paid. So he paid $115, and that is less than $210, so it does make sense. So this is a you try problem. You should pause your video, try and do this word problem, and then press play to see if you got your answer correct. Pause your video now. Okay, so Sienna has read 3/4 of her book over the weekend. On Monday, she reads 22 more pages. So if she read 220 pages altogether, how many pages does the book have? So here's my question. How many pages does the book have? So I'm just going to identify my information. I'm going to say X is equal to the number of pages in the book. Now, Sienna read 3/4 of the book. Of represents multiplication, and the book has the number of pages in the book. So 3/4 of X. Now, on Monday, she reads 22 more pages. More represents you're adding to this, so plus 22. And we know that the total amount of books is actually, the total number of pages is 220. So we know this is how much Sienna has already read together. And now we can solve. So subtract 22 on both sides. So we end up with 3/4 X equal to 198. Now, maybe you would like to get rid of this fraction. So maybe you want to multiply everything by 4 to get rid of the fraction. So when you do this, you end up with 3x equal to, don't forget to distribute. So 198 times 4 is equal to 792. And now we will do inverse operations, so subtract. So x is equal to 264. So now I'm going to write a statement saying what I have. There are 264 pages in the book, and I'm going to make sure that my answer makes sense. So if Sienna has already read 220 pages altogether and she still has not finished the book, it makes sense that the book has a little more left over. So this makes perfect sense.